15 south towards the the Poway neighborhood. Let's go ahead and zoom on into where we're tracking a stalled car. Reportedly, it's stuck on the HOV lane, and this is on the 15 South right at Rancho Bernardo, so look out for that. We're also tracking reports of some sort of crash on the right shoulder in the Mission Valley area on the 8 East right after the 805. Travel time still in pretty good shape, anywhere between about 10 to 15 right now to get you northbound, and that's coming in from the South Bay. Back to you guys. 5 freeway. It looks like it's not causing any congestion, though. In fact, we're at steady speeds for the most part. And then here's what we're tracking coming in from Rancho Bernardo as you make your way towards Ted Williams, also known as the 56. It looks like we have a stalled motorcycle, and the motorcyclist is reportedly off of his bike and just kind of hanging on the shoulder in between the fast lane and the HOV lane. So look out for that. If you're wondering what all of this yellow is, that's where we're tracking some fog. So right along Scripps Poway Parkway in between Poway and Ramona is where we're seeing the most dense fog right now. So visibility reduced through that pocket. Look out for that. About 10 to 15 minutes right now on the 5 and the 805. This is coming in from National City as well as Chula Vista. And then here are those drives coming in from the East County headed west, 3 to 7 minutes. Still steady speeds right now across the board. Same deal coming in from the North County as you make your way southbound this morning. All right, 6:11 is the time. Let's go ahead and pull up those border wait times for you. We're tracking close to 2 hours coming across from San Ysidro's port of entry, and then about an hour and a half or so inbound from Otay Mesa. So a bit of a wait for both ends. Back to you guys. Start things off with a live look outside. This is the 5 in both directions as you make your way northbound, headed out of Chula Vista towards National City. This is also the 5 a little more north, though, near the UTC and La Jolla area, right at Genesee Avenue, where you're looking at is a southbound drive as folks leave Genesee Avenue headed southbound towards the 52 connector, and this is the 5 in both directions right at Villa de la Valle. All right, we are still tracking a stalled motorcyclist hanging out in the HOV fast lane, waiting for likely a tow truck, and that's on the 15 South right at Rancho Bernardo. We're also continuing to track this crash. It came in about 5 a.m., but it's still active on the CAD, so this may set you back a little bit. It's on the eastbound drive, but it may slow things down for folks headed westbound, heading into the Mission Valley area anywhere near the 805 this morning. 10 to 15 minutes meanwhile, so still in pretty good shape coming in from Chula Vista and National City at last check. Back to you guys. Let's go ahead and start things off with a live look out of the South Bay, where there happen to be a lot of good taco spots. 5 in both directions coming in from the Chula Vista neighborhood. That's a drive as you make your way northbound towards National City. We're seeing our fair share of brake tapping. That is usual for this time of day. Meanwhile, this is the 5 a little more north near the UTC and La Jolla area. This is in both directions right at Genesee. And then here's what it looks like also on the 5 a little closer to the Del Mar area, where the San Diego County Fair continues to be happening all the way through July 4th. All right, look out for a crash blocking the right shoulder. This is in the Escondido neighborhood on the 15 North right after Center City Parkway, and that could slow things down. Not even if you're headed northbound, but even if you're exiting the Escondido area, headed southbound towards Poway this morning. Parkway area, even though it occurred on the northbound end, it could cause brake tapping as you make your way southbound this morning. We are also continuing to track a crash that was slowing things down earlier in the Mission Valley area. In fact, you could see it on the far left of the monitor here. That's the 8, right where it intersects with the 805. That's been active since 5 a.m., but it still looks like there's some sort of activity on the shoulder, so look out for that. We're starting to track some slowing coming in from Santee. Stop and go from the 125 as you make your way towards Mass. Speeds down to about 20 miles per hour. Complete opposite coming inbound from La Mesa, Grossmont Center area. If you're leaving those neighborhoods headed westbound towards College, you're looking at speeds averaging about 70 to 75 miles per hour. Back to you guys. Right at Center City, so that's going to slow things down maybe if you're traveling in from Escondido headed southbound this morning. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at some of your travel times. We are averaging about 15 to 20 minutes right now for all of those drives headed in from the South Bay northbound. And it's looking like our slowest drive is still out of the South Bay this morning. Back to you guys. 7:01 on your Taco Tuesday. All right, I'm going to take you down to the South Bay because that's where we are tracking some slowing. We're always slow on the 805, but we are extra slow this morning due to a crash blocking the right shoulder in the Mount Hope area. It's on the 805 North right after Home Avenue, and we are seeing stop and go all the way from 43rd. So let's kind of give you a glimpse of what we're seeing. This is that Home Avenue camera. Most of the slowing is just south of where this camera points. So again, if you're leaving, typically it's slow, but it's going to, again, we're going to see those drive times start to see an uptick because of that activity. 15 to 25 right now to get you in from the Chula Vista National City area. If you're traveling in from the East County headed west, about 3 to 8 minutes, a 10-minute drive. 52 leaving Santee, and then here's what it looks like if you're traveling in from the North County. About 15 coming in from Oceanside down to Encinitas, and then about a 15-minute ride. Meanwhile, in the 15 inbound out of Escondido at last check. Back to you guys. And we're seeing an uptick in that travel time on the 805 because of a crash that we've been tracking right near Home Avenue. So it looks like it's still hanging out on the right shoulder in the Mount Hope neighborhood, slowing things all the way back to about 43rd, 47th. You will feel the impact of this if you're traveling in from the Chula Vista area, but the 5's also slow. Otherwise, I would say use the 54 to the 5 as an alternate route, but it looks like both major freeways headed northbound are seeing their fair share of slowing this morning. Travel speed's not too bad. It could be worse. Right now, we're averaging about 43 to 45 miles per hour or so, shooting north about 3 to 7 minutes for those drives headed west out of the East County this morning. And then, of course, we're seeing the slowest drive coming in from Santee as you make your way west, about a 10-minute ride overall. Traveling in from the North County headed south, about 15 minutes on the 5 and the 15. And then if you're traveling a full span of the 78 from the 15 to the 5, it'll take you about 15 to 17 minutes. Netta. All right. Coming in from Chula Vista, headed northbound on the 5 as you make your way toward the mile of cars this morning. So far, so good on the 5. This is a little more north near the UTC and La Jolla area. This is what it looks like coming in from Genesee as you make your way either north or south towards Sorrento Valley. And here's another pretty slow drive. This is on the 78 coming in from Escondido as you make your way westbound toward the Vista and San Marcos neighborhoods. All right, we are tracking a good amount of slowing now that we are approaching the 8 o'clock hour. 23 mile per hour speeds or so coming in from Escondido on the 15 south. Coming in from Santee and La Mesa. I mean, Santee's at a crawl, but it's a very small pocket of slowing that we're tracking. Most of it confined near the 125. And then if you're traveling in from the 5 and the 805 out of the South Bay, I mean, we are really slow, about 10 to 14 mile per hour speeds. And as we take a look at some of those travel times, not too bad. It could be worse. I mean, we are still in the yellow. 17 to about 25 on the 5 and the 805 in about 5 minutes, full span of the Coronado Bridge in from Barrio. About 15 right now, so our slowest drive is out of Santee on the 52 from the 125 towards the 15. And then here's what it looks like for those travel times coming in from the North County headed south. About 20 minutes overall on the 5 to 15 as well as the 78. In La Jolla area where we are tracking reports of some sort of brush fire on the 5 north to La Jolla Village Drive. It's slowing things down to Nobel Drive. I was trying to get a glimpse of any of the slowing or any smoke that we could see from some of our Caltrans cameras. Unfortunately, we cannot. This is the 5 in both directions right at Genesee Avenue. Travel times right now are continuing to slow down, especially out of the South Bay. About a 20 to 25 minute ride headed northbound on the 5 and the 805. If you're traveling in from the East County headed west, you're also looking at slowing, especially coming in from Santee, anywhere between 5 to 15 minutes for you. And if you're traveling out of the North County headed southbound, about a pair of 16-minute drives on the 5 and the 15, full span of the 78, about 20 minutes at last check. On the off-ramp of La Jolla Village Drive, slowing things down to Nobel. As we take a look on the 5, I was trying to track any slowing or any activity going on from this camera, and we can't really see much. We are encountering some slowing, though, as you make your way northbound. Passing Genesee, headed towards Sorrento Valley this morning. Travel times are continuing to build across the board, about 20 minutes right now if you're traveling inbound on the 15, or the 5 rather, in from the 54 up to the 8. About a 20-minute ride, meanwhile, on the 805 coming in from San Isidro to the 94. And then here's what it looks like if you're traveling in from the East County headed west, about 6 to 12 minutes for all of those drives westbound. That includes the 94, the 8, as well as the 52. And then here are some of those drives if you're traveling in from the North County headed south. A pair of 15-minute drives right now on the 5 and the 15 in from Oceanside and Escondido. Back to you guys. DC area, because that's where we are continuing to track some sort of fire activity, reports of a brush fire on the right shoulder on the off ramp. I saw that fire crew is actually blocking the off ramp right now, trying to get that situation under control. You can expect perhaps some slowing all the way back to Nobel Drive. And again, that's mid-span of the Golden Triangle. Here's a look on the 5 in both directions, so no major slowing from this view here. This is the full span of the Coronado Bridge in pretty good shape. And here's what it looks like if you're traveling in from the East County headed west. About 5 to 10 minutes or so for those westbound drives. That includes the 94 as well as the 8. And full span of the 52, we're tracking about a 10-minute ride inbound from Santee. Eric? Cars passing the 54 connector. Let's go ahead and switch gears. Ouch, this is the drive coming in from the 78 at Nordal as folks make their way from Escondido headed towards the San Marcos and Vista neighborhoods. And then this is a little more central near the La Jolla UTC area on the 5. Right at Genesee Avenue. All right, we are tracking, again, improvement right now on the 805. We were in the yellow coming in from San Isidro to the 94. Now we're tracking about a 15-minute ride there. 3 to 13 minutes, meanwhile, on the 5 and the Coronado Bridge. If you're traveling inbound from the East County, about 5 to nearly 10 minutes on the 94 and the 8. And full span of the 52 coming in from Santee towards the 15, about a 10-minute ride. Meanwhile, here's what it looks like as you're making your way inbound from the North County. Back to you. I was going to say,
romantic and
I was like about to fall asleep.
It was very
beautiful.
soothing. They've got great voices.
Very peaceful mornings.
Patch and Maggie.
Patch and Maggie.
Check
Still
'em out.
some tickets left for Thursday at the Belly Up. If you haven't been to the Belly Up, great venue.
Good place. Going to be a nice weekend for that, right?
Very nice.
June here.
I don't even know when summer is. When does summer start?
It starts on Wednesday, I believe, of next week.
Wednesday of next week.
21st.
Yeah, it's, next Wednesday is the 24th.
Oh, when's the 21st? Monday.
21st is Sunday.
Sunday. Okay, then it's Sunday.
Summer's Sunday.
There we go.
Wow.
So next week we'll start
That's
officially
summer
first
solstice.
full
So
week.
our days are getting longer in the meantime.
I can feel
and
that,
then
yeah.
we'll enjoy that nice stretch of long days. And then after that, sadly, our days will decline, but it's going to be really, really
Yeah,
good.
right.
So I planned the baby and maternity leave just in time for summer.
Yeah,
And
there
I
you
planned it
go.
all out, by the way. I was like,
The way
you know
we
what?
plan these things.
Summer's starting, so I might as well go on late.
Roads were looking okay today?
Yeah, roads are looking pretty good.
PS8 app for right now. We're in red today. They both.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I was going to say.
The red on.
Their team. Thanks for joining us here. Drive safely out there. If you see emergency vehicles, do the right thing,
Yeah.
right?
Say,
Take
right.
the detour. Give them the room
Yeah,
they need.
and we know that crash just happened because there aren't even crews, like
Right.
police on scene,
Right,
kind
to
of
direct
navigating
traffic.
traffic. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, take it easy out there. Thanks for joining us here on this Tuesday.